of capacitors. Okay, so that is the idea in today's class. Just a second. Yesterday what we saw was on the resistors. In today's class we are going to, just a minute. We are going to talk about another passive element, and that passive element is nothing but the capacitors. Okay, so that's what we are going to deal with it today. And let me have a few more slides ready for the class. After that we'll begin the class. So are you able to see the empty screen?
Yes, sir. We can.
Okay. So capacitors. I know it's what is a capacitor? Okay, so this is yet another passive element. Of a circuit. So what did I mean by passive element? Passive element, we mean one which is not capable of delivering power or energy to a circuit. So traditionally, then we must have active elements. By active elements, this is what we saw in the yesterday's class. So this is yet another capacitor, is yet another. By an active element, we are taking an example of transistors, which amplifies and delivers diodes. So these are active elements. So example of passive element, we talked about yesterday resistor. In today's class, we are going to talk about capacitor. By capacitor, we know this actually, let us recall the concepts that we learned in the high school. So by capacitor, we know it stores energy. So people, you will say that it stores electrical energy. More specifically, I would like to say that it is electrostatic energy. It stores electrostatic energy. It stores electrostatic energy. How? Let us try to understand how do I make this statement. So I am going to draw a few things here. So a geometry of a capacitor consists of the well-known geometry. Of course, we can have different geometries, but the well-known geometry that we know is what is called the parallel plate capacitor. Parallel plate capacitor is something we know. Okay, so this is a well-known geometry that we know that. Okay, so this is a well-known geometry, parallel plate capacitor. So how does this capacitor look like? A capacitor is actually nothing but two conducting plates. So two conducting plates. If I look at the cross section of these plates, I have something like this. Separated by a finite, so two conducting plates. A pair of conducting plates. A capacitor geometry is nothing but a pair of conducting plates separated by finite distance. Finite distance. I might specify this as D. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a cross section of a capacitor. Cross section of a capacitor. Cross sectional image. So these two conducting plates separated by finite distance D, and the region between them, between these two plates, is filled with an insulating this thing with a what is known as the insulating material, what is known as the dielectric. Right. So a capacitor is nothing but a pair of conducting plates separated by finite distance D, and the region between these two plates filled with a dielectric. Okay, so the dielectric is nothing but an insulating material. Okay, now this, what does this geometry hold for us is something that we are going to say. We are going to see just shortly. So if I were to draw the top view instead of the cross-sectional view, I will have something like this. So this is one plate, another plate like this. And this region, as I told you, is separated by distance D. And this, let us say, I connect it to a battery. So try to understand, we are going to try to understand the working of a capacitor, or how does the geometry respond when you subject the pair of parallel plate conducting plates to an applied field. So that is what we are going to see. So I am going to apply a field, and what is going to happen. So let us say I will have a top plate connected to the positive of the DC source. I can connect even AC source, no problem, but I have taken an example like this. So this region is separated by dielectric. So this region is separated by what is known as dielectric material. So this, I apply a battery, this positive, this negative, and two plates, conducting plate, and connected by wire. So the dielectric is in between these two plates. I have drawn just like that. Okay, so the dielectric separates the two plates and a finite distance. So moment I apply the field, when I subject these two, this geometry of parallel plate capacitor. Okay, when I subject this geometry, okay, to one applied field, or applied field E, okay, I will take E due to applied field E due to the connection with the battery. Connection with the DC source. What happens here? First of all, you must understand a dielectric does not support current flow and they are separated by distance d. What is going to happen here? So moment I apply a field, this dielectric consists of, it could be air, it could be ceramic, it could be an electrolytic material, or it could be even an oxide. The dielectric can be anything. A dielectric simply does not support, you know that it is an insulating material that separates these two plates. So what is going to happen? This dielectric material consists of several atoms. So if I look at the atomic picture, each of these atom consists of a positively charged nucleus with the electrons revolving, the negatively charged electrons revolving around the nucleus. Now, moment I subject this dielectric to the field, the atom is going to be influenced by this field. And how it is going to get influenced? The center of the positive charge, which is the nucleus, and the center of negative charge, which is the electron cloud, they separate and they orient with the field. So how does that happen? So you can understand, for example, if I have, so I will have like consider this dielectric to consist of several atoms, and these atoms, each of these atom will have a positively charged nucleus, electron cloud surrounding this nucleus, revolving around this positively charged nucleus. Now, when I subject this dielectric to the applied field, I am going to see there is a polarization happening. By polarization, what I mean is the process of the center of positive charge and the center of negative charge separating by finite distance, and each of these constitute what is known as a dipole, atomic dipole, and the atomic dipoles align with the field. So these positive charge, so here it is going to be actually going in this manner. So the positive charge is here, the negative is here. So what is going to happen? We'll see that. So if I were to draw in a separate picture, I will have something like this. So these are the two plates. Now I can, each of the dipole, I can draw like this. I will draw some representatives of the dipole. So you can see I'm going to connect it to a battery DC source. I have connected in this fashion. The upper plate being connected to the positive terminal of the battery and the lower plate, bottom plate connected to the negative terminal. Now you can see this dipole, you will see that because this is positively charged, the negative electron cloud will be attracted of the dipole and the positive here. So like that it is going to happen. So I have only drawn some representative dipoles. So now you can see these dipoles have aligned with respect to the field. So there will be a field that will be built due to this alignment of these dipoles. The phenomenon of alignment of atomic dipoles in a dielectric when subjected to an external field. What is this phenomenon called? What is this phenomenon called?
Polarization.
Polarization. So because of this acquiring of this, the negative and positive charges separating, now what will happen is this plate will actually now acquire a positive charge because here it is negative, so it will actually build on the surface a positive charge here. So this is the atomic picture of how a capacitor holds a charge. I said a capacitor stores electrostatic energy. In other words, the electrostatic energy that is stored on the plates of the capacitor is actually nothing but the charges that is getting accumulated on the plates of the capacitor. There are a lot of so this is my negative. Sorry. So this will, because this one is actually positive charge, so definitely here it will become negative, this plate. So you have two plates, one of them acquiring positive charge, the plate that is connected to the positive of the DC source getting positive charge, the plate that is connected to the negative of the DC source getting a negative charge. So we can see, so the first process that happens is the polarization, and this induces counter charge, which means when this negative charge, it induces a positive charge on this plate. Here it on this other plate where it is in the vicinity of a positive charge, central nucleus closer to that will induce a negative charge. So now this process of polarization happens as long as there is charging of this capacitor. So I can actually picturize in a sense that I have two conducting plates. Okay, so let me come on the screen for a minute. So I have two plates. So I am connecting to a battery DC source. When I am connecting to a DC source and these are separated by a dielectric, the dielectric molecules or atoms, okay, depending on what kind of dielectric it is, they get polarized. Due to the polarized, it induces opposite counter charges on the two sides of the plate. So the charges are now, the plates are actually have got the neutral plates at t equal to 0 have become charged. So in other words, I can say that one of the plate has acquired positive charge, the other plate has acquired negative charge. So you can understand here A neutral atom, when it is getting ionized and it gives away an electron, it will get positively charged. A neutral atom, when it is getting ionized, it will give away the ionized. It can be either gaining of electrons or losing of electrons. Let us assume that the positive plate has come. So it was earlier it was neutral plate. I have actually, what I have done is I have pushed the electrons from one of the plate and put it on the other plate. So you can understand here, a dielectric can never support a current. However, the current that is happening between the plates of the capacitor is what is known as displacement current. The current that happens through the wire, the flow of the electrons through the wire, is what is known as the conduction current. So there are two currents that now when you talk in terms of the capacitor. So we will actually revisit this capacitor problem at the time of studying applied electromagnetics. We will talk little detailed over there, but right now you can understand here that we have pulled electrons from one plate, leaving it positively charged and putting it on the other plate. Therefore, we are with the DC source, we are doing the work to do this. Therefore, since we have done the work, which means we have spent energy. Now these two plates during the charging have acquired positive, upper plate acquiring positive charge, the lower plate acquiring negative charge, actually leaving what we call, we have whatever work we have done to do this. Okay, so it is the electron that we are doing, we are pushing it with the battery. The electron is being pulled from one plate, neutral plate, and put it in the. So therefore, this lower plate gains electrons, the upper plate loses electrons. Therefore, the upper plate becomes positively charged, the lower plate becomes negatively charged. So we can picturize this capacitor in this fashion too. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, one more thing. Because of this work done by the battery, we can say that the capacitor has acquired charges. The charges are being stored on the plates of the capacitor, and therefore the energy that we spent in pushing the electron from one plate and putting it on the other plate, that process of doing this in the form of the work done, now it is stored. That energy cannot go anywhere. It is actually stored on the plates of the capacitor. So that is why we talk a capacitor stores electrostatic energy. Is that clear? Okay. All right. Now, Gokul Kumaran, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us go one step ahead of this. We can keep talking about this capacitor. We'll talk a little bit more. Now let us think about this. We will come to learn that, so there is one plate like this. Amritavarshini, is that clear? What is a capacitor? Do you understand why capacitor holds charges by now?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is what it is. So I have done like this. Now, because this acquires a negative charge, this acquires a partial positive charge. During the charging, the charging cannot go on and on. A capacitor has certain capacity, how much charge it can. So capacitance is a parameter that defines the amount of charge that can be stored, okay, on the conducting plates. So it's a parameter. So what is the unit of capacitor? What is the unit of capacitance? Anybody? Farad. Farad. The unit, SI unit is farad, and it's a large unit. It's really large. If you say I stored 1 farad, if I have built a capacitor which has a capacitance of 1 farad, that is quite large. You have to think, okay? So I will leave it to you. Now what I want you to think about this is, this, because of this, what is happening is we apply with a field B, and this is subjecting a field. Now you can see that there is a field due to this, and the field, applied field, is in this direction. Okay, the applied field is from positive to negative. Electric field originates, remember this, originates from positive charge, and ends on a negative charge. And electric field lines, okay, electric field lines originate from positive charge and ends on a negative charge. Remember this. A capacitor cannot, once it is charged, it cannot go beyond a certain value. Only every capacitor will have certain extent of charging. It cannot keep on, you can't keep on charging a capacitor beyond its rating. The rating primarily comes due to, so the ability to charges is actually is one thing, but the amount of charge is another thing. Okay, so every capacitor will have certain rating, capacitance. It cannot charge beyond that level. So now let us look into another picture. Any conducting plate, remember this, I will not get into the detailed. What is the energy stored on the plates of the capacitor? What is the energy stored on the plates of the capacitor?
Electrostatic energy.
You know that electrostatic energy, how much? Electrostatic energy, how much is that? It is measured in, all energy is measured in joules. Okay, joules. What is the expression? Half
CV square.
Half is CV square. How did we get this expression? So to make you quickly understand, okay, so how do we define the capacitance? How do I quickly will gather that? After that we'll continue in the afternoon session. So I have a plate like this. Let us say this plate is positively charged. It's positively charged. Okay. So it is positively charged. And so if you understand here this picture, you will see that the dielectric atoms have acquired a negative charge on this side. So there will be an induced field due to this polarization. And that induced field, as I told, the field lines will point negative, but the applied field is in this direction. So the applied field is downward, the induced field is upward. So these two fields are along in opposite direction. So you can see that the field due to, so this top plate has acquired a positive charge, the bottom plate has acquired negative charge. But the field due to polarization of the dielectric is actually in the opposite direction to that of the field due to the external DC source. So the charging can happen as long as once the balance is achieved between this induced field and the applied field, no more charging can happen. So the charging, then we can say the capacitor is fully charged. Is that point clear? Is that point clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So Aravind Narayanan, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
When do you think the capacitor is fully charged? When do you think the capacitor is fully charged? Oops. When do you think the capacitor is fully charged? Who can explain this?
And the field due to the charge acquired by the plates and by polarization, when this both fields become equal, the capacitor becomes fully charged.
Yeah, equal, and they are acting in opposite direction. So moment that balance is achieved, the capacitor can no more get charged. Okay, so how much charge it can hold? And so I told the work that is done in removing electrons from one plate and putting it on the other plate, that is actually the electrostatic energy. So how do I visualize this? I'll show you again. So every time I have to pull this diagram to ensure that you are on the same picture. This is my positive, this is my negative terminal. Now this is a dielectric. There is dielectric in between these two plates of the capacitor, parallel plates. And now what I wanted to do is tell you is, if you take any plate, okay, the field we will see from electromagnetics, the field due to any of these plates. Let us talk about this. So upper plate, if I take upper plate, the field due to this positively charged plate can be positively charged plate. What is the time now?
9:32,
sir.
Huh? What is the field due to this positively charged plate is? Actually, we can show that it can be shown that it is actually sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, sigma by 2 epsilon naught from electromagnetics. We will show the derivation in the next semester class, but you can understand that for now that it is sigma by 2 epsilon naught is the field due to this. I told you this is a positively charged plate. So the field lines always emanate from a positive charge. Positive charge is like a source, negative charge is like a drain. Okay, so if I take simply a positive plate like this, the field lines, the surfaces hold the positive charges like this, the field lines originate from it is like a source. So here upper plate will have sigma by 2 epsilon naught, upper side, lower side also it will be sigma by 2 epsilon naught, where sigma is actually surface charge density. Surface charge density. Okay. Similarly, I have a lower plate which is negatively charged. The negatively charged, in this case, the field line must point inward or outward?
Inward, sir.
Inward. So here it will be pointing downward. It will be towards the plate. So in this case it will be like this. In this case it will be. So if I look at here, okay. So this is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. These field lines will point like this. It acquires a negative charge. So here it will become actually, if you put it this way, you got to be careful here. This is my negative charge. So I am putting it as sigma by 2 epsilon naught. And this one is originating from the plate. This one is ending on the plate. The net field that is here is actually going to be, the net field is, what will be the net field in the region of the dielectric?
Sigma by epsilon naught.
Huh?
Sigma by epsilon.
Sigma by epsilon naught. Net field in this region of dielectric. So we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next stuff. I will show you how you got this half CV square, and I will also show you what is this expression Q equal to CV in the next class. So net field in this region of dielectric is going to be sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Actually, magnitude wise I have to see, because all are in the downward direction, which means it is actually sigma by 2 epsilon naught, sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Alternatively, if I were to put minus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, then I will have to revert it to the different direction. So you got to be careful, you don't do the same thing twice. So you will get sigma by epsilon naught. Is that clear? I'll stop here. Okay, is that clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm stopping it here. We'll continue in the afternoon. Okay. We have the 5th hour today, right? 5th hour is there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So any doubt on this so far, whatever I taught? Any doubt?
Sir, the handouts haven't been uploaded in the NHS.
Handout, I will be uploading it. Don't worry. Once this class is over today, I will upload the handout.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, handout will be there only for the first few lectures. After that, you have to follow in the class. You can take down the notes, whatever you want to take down, and you must also have that. You can buy that book through Amazon, and I suggest buying it. If you want to build a career on this thing in electronics, you better have that Bible, Cedra Smith. Is that clear? How many of you have purchased?
Sir, I have purchased.
Huh?
I have purchased, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me take the attendance before you can leave. Yesterday, I see that only 61 people filled the form. I'm not going to, just a minute. You have to fill the form also. And try to answer, try to maximize your learning in the classroom. That's all I will say. Okay. So that's very important. Just a second. Let me turn off my video. Just a minute. I'll throw the attendance just to fill the attendance and leave. It is taking its time to, let me put the other way. Just hold on a minute. That's why I stopped the lecture. Do you like the way of this lecture, or you want, just like, reading it from the PowerPoint?
No, sir. This is better.
This is better, sir.